You know what's funny? You've probably spent half your life paying rent, crying over mortgage rates, or scrolling Zillow at 3 a.m. looking at houses you'll never afford. But here's the punchline. Somebody actually owns that overpriced shoebox apartment you live in, and guess what? They're getting rich off your misery. Yep, real estate is basically legalized robbery, but with fancier paperwork. But before you start screaming the system is rigged, well, yeah, it kind of is. Let me show you how you can play this rigged game too. Because whether you like it or not, real estate has created more millionaires than crypto, drop shipping, or that OnlyFans subscription you're too embarrassed to cancel. And the best part? You don't need to be a millionaire to start. You just need to know the cheat codes. So grab a snack, maybe a calculator, and let's walk through the millionaire map of real estate, a 9-level video game where the final boss is BlackRock. And spoiler alert, they win. But hey, at least you'll learn how to get rich along the way. Level 1, House Hacker, aka living for free while your friends are broke. Okay, so picture this. You're in your early 20s, living in a 2-bedroom apartment, splitting rent with a roommate. Life's decent, rent's manageable. Then boom, roommate leaves. Most people panic, but not you, future real estate mogul. Instead, you think, wait, what if I become the landlord? So you list the room, get a new tenant, and here's the magic. Instead of splitting 50-50, you charge a little more. Congrats, you've just discovered the ancient art of subletting. You're still broke, but hey, now you're a broke landlord. Fast forward, you buy a duplex. You live in one unit, rent out the other, and suddenly your mortgage almost covered. This is called house hacking, which sounds cooler than it is. Basically, you're just living next to your tenants, pretending you're not spying on whether they're using too much hot water. The best part, every month, instead of flushing rent money down the drain, you're building equity. That's financial nerd speak for your net worth goes up while your friends cry over rent hikes.
Level 2, the accidental landlord, making money in your sleep, literally. Now you've leveled up. You moved out of that duplex, but instead of selling, you rent out both units. Boom, 2 tenants, 2 deposits, and you checking your phone every month like, wow, I just made money while drooling on my pillow. But don't get too cocky. You're not sipping margaritas in Bali yet. No, you're repainting walls, replacing fridges, and unclogging toilets that mysteriously get clogged with who knows what. Welcome to the glamorous life of a landlord. Still, you're building passive income. Well, semi-passive. Let's be real. It's about as passive as babysitting toddlers. But hey, at least toddlers don't pay rent. And this is where people get addicted. You're not just working for money anymore. Your property is working for you. Congratulations, you're officially a capitalist overlord now. Karl Marx hates you, but your bank account doesn't. Level 3, Airbnb hustler, because tourists will pay anything. So you're enjoying your rental cash flow when suddenly you notice something strange. That house down the street, always buzzing with random people wheeling in suitcases. Turns out it's an Airbnb, and the owner making triple what you do. Naturally, you think, well, if they can do it, so can I. So you furnish a place, slap on some IKEA furniture, take a few wide-angle photos that make the shoebox look like a mansion, and boom, your listing goes live. Now, instead of one tenant paying monthly, you've got strangers paying per night, and they're paying more than you ever imagined. Of course, it comes with headaches. Midnight texts like, "Where's the Wi-Fi password?" or "Why is there only one towel?" But every time that money hits your account, you forget the pain. And this, my friend, is the short-term rental game. Basically, you're running a mini hotel, without the staff, without the training, and sometimes without the sanity. But hey, if it's good enough to make Miami, Austin, and Lisbon millionaires, it's good enough for you.
Level 4, the Burr investor, printing money like the Federal Reserve. So you've tasted that sweet, sweet Airbnb cash. You've gotten high off the thrill of charging tourists $200 a night for a glorified closet. Naturally, your brain asks the golden question. How do I get more of this? Enter the Burr strategy. No, that's not me shivering because you forgot to pay your heating bill. It stands for buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. Basically, it's like flipping houses, but instead of selling, you keep them and make them your little money printing slaves forever. Here's how it goes.
You find a house that looks like it's been through 3 divorces in a tornado. Everyone else avoids it, but you see potential. You swoop in, buy it dirt cheap, slap on some paint, fix the bathroom so it doesn't look like a crime scene, and suddenly, ta-da, you've got yourself a rental-worthy property. You rent it out, cash starts flowing, and here's the magic trick. Now the place is worth more. You march back to the bank like, hey, look at my glow up, and they hand you back most of the money you invested. Do you sell the house? No. Do you keep it and buy another one with that cash? Yes. It's like cloning money. It's like Pokemon breeding, except instead of cute little creatures, you're breeding properties that keep spitting out rent checks. You just unlocked financial steroids. Level 5, commercial real estate. Goodbye, tenants. Hello, businesses. By now, you're done dealing with Becky from apartment 2B crying that the faucet is leaking again. You're tired of unclogging toilets stuffed with mystery objects. So you think bigger. You say, what if instead of renting to people, I rent to businesses? Welcome to commercial real estate. Here's the beauty of it. Businesses don't call you at midnight about broken light bulbs. They sign 5-year leases with rent increases baked right in. And in some cases, the tenant, not you, pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Translation? They're basically paying for your building and your retirement while you sit back and pretend you're busy managing things. So you buy a little office building, maybe a strip mall with 3 stores, and suddenly your tenants aren't drunk college kids with overdue rent. They're actual businesses trying to impress customers, which means they treat the property better than you ever could. Sure, you've got bigger upfront costs, but the payoff, longer contracts, more predictable income, and fewer headaches. It's like going from babysitting toddlers to managing responsible adults. Except these adults pay you thousands of dollars every month. This is the level where you start realizing, oh damn, I'm not just a landlord anymore. I'm basically the boss of bosses.
Level 6, specialty investor, the weird stuff that makes stupid money. Now we're entering the part of the game where things get weird. You've conquered houses, apartments, offices, but what about mobile home parks, storage units, farmland, billboards, and laundromats? Sounds lame, right? Like, who brags about owning a laundromat? Nobody. But you know who laughs the loudest? The guy cashing buckets of quarters every week. Let's break it down. Mobile home parks. Forget luxury condos. Mobile homes are where the money hides. Tenants own their homes, you just own the land they sit on. That means no leaky roof calls, no broken fridge complaints. They pay you rent just for existing there, and they usually stay for years. Low expenses, high cash flow. It's like Monopoly, but everyone's parked on trailer lane. Self-storage units. No toilets, no tenants. Just people paying you to hoard their junk in a metal box. Pure, beautiful, passive income. In fact, the self-storage industry has averaged over 16% annual returns for decades. That's more consistent than your gym attendance. Farmland. Doesn't sound sexy, right? But people need to eat, and land produces food. Plus, billionaires like Bill Gates are hoarding farmland like it's the last pack of Oreos. Why? Because farmland is stable, quiet, and always in demand. Your little cornfield? That's basically an ATM. Billboards. You don't even need buildings, just a giant sign that says, "Eat at Joe's Pizza." Companies pay you monthly for eyeballs on their ads, and guess what? Billboards don't call you at 3 a.m. either. So yeah, specialty real estate might not look glamorous, but when your bank account's fat and your friends are still broke, you'll be the one laughing while saying, yeah, I make my money from storage lockers and dirt.
Level 7, the real estate mogul. Why use your money when you can use everyone else's? Okay, by this point you've squeezed cash out of every tenant, tourist, and self-storage locker on Earth. But you've hit a wall. Why? Because you're out of money. And banks, shockingly, don't care that you have potential millionaire energy. So what do? Simple, you graduate to raising other people's money. Congratulations, you're now a syndicator. This is where you find a big deal, like an apartment complex, maybe even an entire shopping mall, and then convince investors to hand you their cash so you can buy it. You're basically the hype man of real estate.
You promise them steady returns, handle all the paperwork, and in return, you get equity, fees, and bragging rights. It's like running a group project in high school, except instead of free riders, you've got investors who literally pay you to be the group leader. If you pull it off, you start building an empire faster than you ever could alone. And if you mess it up, well, congrats, you just ruined Thanksgiving because you convinced your uncle to invest in that guaranteed apartment deal. But hey, teamwork makes the dream work, and in real estate, other people's money equals rocket fuel. Level 8, the developer. If it doesn't exist, build it. Now you've done everything: rentals, Airbnbs, laundromats, raising capital. But suddenly you realize the perfect property you want just doesn't exist. Solution? You become a developer. This is where things get wild. You're not just buying property anymore, you're creating it. Raw dirt, you turn it into a shopping plaza. Empty lot, boom, luxury condos. Abandoned warehouse? Congrats, it's now an overpriced co-working space with kombucha on tap. Of course, this comes with headaches, permits, contractors, city officials who love saying no just because it's Monday. But if you pull it off, you don't just make money, you create generational wealth. That one development project could pay for your kids' college tuition, assuming college still exists in 2075 and hasn't been replaced by AI learning pods. Think about it. Some of the richest families in the world didn't just buy property, they built it. Stadiums, skyscrapers, mega malls. You are literally reshaping skylines while your friends are reshaping their bank accounts by overdrafting Starbucks lattes.
Level 9, the evil overlord. Too big to fail. Welcome, player. You've reached the final boss level. And surprise, it's not you. It's the institutional investors. We're talking about BlackRock, Vanguard, giant funds backed by trillions. These guys don't buy one house, they buy the whole neighborhood. Before you even see a for sale sign, they've already scooped up 400 homes like they're ordering a family-sized pizza. Here's the kicker. They don't even care if they make mistakes, because if the market crashes, the government bails them out. Why? Because apparently, if you're rich enough, consequences are optional. So while you're stressing about saving for a down payment, they're buying entire zip codes. It's not even about rent anymore. It's about power. Owning housing stock means they get to play puppet master with the entire economy. Are they villains? Heroes? Both? Doesn't matter. What matters is this. At this level, the game is rigged. But if you've climbed all the way here, hey, you've officially beaten 99.9% of people who never even got past paying rent. So what's the point? Look, real estate isn't perfect. Tenants will drive you insane. Airbnb guests will steal your towels. Banks will laugh at your loan applications. But here's the undeniable truth. Real estate has created more millionaires than any other asset class in history. Not crypto, not stocks, not that MLM your cousin keeps kitching you on Facebook. Real estate. Why? Because it's leverageable, it cash flows, it appreciates, and most importantly, it turns your broke self into someone who wakes up one day realizing, wow, my tenants are literally paying for my financial freedom. So whether you're hacking your first duplex, cashing in on Airbnbs, or building a skyscraper to block your ex's view, real estate is the millionaire map. And if you play it right, you don't just get rich, you stay rich. Now go forth, future landlord overlord, and remember, every building you step into, someone owns it. And there's no reason that person shouldn't be you.
If you enjoyed this sarcastic guide to becoming a real estate tycoon, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and maybe, just maybe, I'll share the secret level 10, buying Mars. Spoiler alert, Elon's already working on it.